I broke my back.
What do you mean by that?
My back is broken.
What do you mean, calm it down? It's a fight. Referees telling two fighters who want to fight to calm it down? He should calm down.
I saw he's like a clown in his show, man. He's not your guy.
Because Tyson Fury's back, and all you motherfuckers are under attack.
Look, Eddie Hearn can say all what he likes. Who gives a shit what Eddie Hearn says? It's garbage.
Are you off your tits? Have you been smoking something?
Can you let me retire and be happy? Please, just please.
Bombs away from the Bronx Bomber! WADA! Let's go, baby! Let's go!
I'm through. They put somebody else up and give me an interview.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
You never give me a fair shake. HBO needs to fire you. You don't know shit about boxing. You ain't shit. You're not shit.
I wish I was 50 years younger and I'd kick your ass.
I got dropped, man. Are you kidding?
No, you won the fight.
OMG, I am so excited.
Any of you radio personalities think you want smoke? Call me Mr. Chimney. I want smoke.
Yes. What is up, MCR family? Another daily edition of the show live on YouTube, obviously podcast from iTunes, Spotify, Radio, etc. I'm Matt, the Hipster Hunter. And of course, before we get to anything, check out our new YouTube channel, Trending Now Network. We just reviewed the Irishman trailer, which came out yesterday. Robert De Niro, Martin Scorsese, all that stuff. Go check it out. But digressing, of course, on these fine midday shows here in the U.S., late evening shows in the UK, joined by the one and only Robbie Hearns, second cousin, twice removed of Sir Eddie, though he has been saying that he's now Robbie Warren lately. So maybe some family disagreements at the table lately, but digressing. Rob, how you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good. Nah, it's all just, I'm obviously still, air quotes, a Hearn. But nah, I'm all good. I'm good. Lots of news, topics, and shit to get into.
I can't wait for this Dillian Whyte story to go away. Cannot wait for it.
I'm glad you finished that sentence with what you did finish it with, because I thought you were like, I can't wait to delve into the...
No, I really don't, because I'll be honest. I think this conversation is so in the bubble. Like, nobody outside of UK boxing Twitter and, like, deep cut PBC Twitter really care about this news that much at this point in time. Because, honestly, like, we're going to delve into the news that came out today from Dan Raphael and Mike Coppinger. But, like, that's not really, I will say, a ton of more information about the case. So, like, we're still at a position where we have the same amount of information we had maybe a week ago, a few days ago at least. So, I'm just ready for this news story to actually develop into something more tangible. But digressing, Rob, we have a lot to get to, including that. So, let's just delve into the Dillian Whyte news. Obviously, we talking about AJ, Andy Ruiz location, the rumors of that, Canelo Derevchenko deadline, and because of that deadline being today, Rob, keep an eye out for the Twitter sphere. Though I don't know when they said the end of the workday, if they were saying Pacific time or East Coast time. So who knows?
Did they say a time?
They said end of the workday, end of the business day. So that's usually 5, like 9 to 5.
Yeah, well, I'm done. I've been done a little while now. I still don't know. So come on, boxing writers, get your shit together. Let us know.
I don't think it's the writer's fault. I think it's the IBF's fault for extending this deadline so far. But anyways, let's get into the Dillian Whyte news because we do have a lot to talk about. I mean, I'm looking at the topic list. Wow. Call in 323-870-4051. Press 1 to get in the queue. International callers, Skype, Mixed Combat Radio. Let's talk about this Dan Raphael breaking news. I do think that he broke it technically before Mike Coppinger. Sorry, Mike. The final pre-fight and post-fight VADA random drug tests for heavyweights Dillian Whyte and Oscar Rivas were negative for any banned substances, according to the letter VADA sent to the fighters and their teams on Thursday. A copy of which was obtained by ESPN. Both fighters had samples collected on July 17th as well as July 21st, the day after the fight, and they came back negative. Whyte failed a pre-fight test conducted by UCAD, not VADA, which was also testing both fighters. But the banned steroid Direnabol is a sample collected June 17th. That result came to light during fight week, but he was still allowed to box in the vacant WBC interim title bout, which he won by unanimous decision. UCAD has yet to explain why he was allowed to fight. The WBC this week withdrew its recognition of Whyte's interim title until it's completed its own investigation. VADA has not been made aware of the failed UCAD test, nor was Rivas. Or I should say, VADA had not is not. Rob, I mean, I'll open the floor to you because
Oh yeah.
Because look, we can tackle this from a litany of different ways, and I don't know where you want to go with this topic. So I'm gonna let you steer this ship here, Rob.
I don't like litanies.
Like litany.
Especially on this. Look, to me, I see everybody saying this has got absolutely nothing to do with anything. This is nothing new. And that's like kind of true. It's just we don't know any, like, all the dates that VADA tested Dillian Whyte, all the dates that UCAD tested Whyte. If it turns out that on the same day UCAD and VADA tested Whyte on that June 17th date, then
or even Rob, a day before, day after, day before, like there's some window of days that we can maybe get into later as to when that's acceptable, when we can start questioning if VADA tested on these days, why is it not showing up? But that's not the dates that we're talking about in question here. We're only talking about July 17th and July 21st.
July 17th, what was a VADA test was taken place. It was administered or whatever. But that's the date that they were notified of the failed test.
There are a lot of people mixing that up, thinking that the day that this
it just had to be the 17th of both months, right? Just to help everybody get.
So for those that don't understand
the craziness,
Team Whyte and Matchroom, because those are the two parties that were made aware of this, were made aware on July 17th. They did not test him on July 17th and pop dirty. That happened June 17th, which I understand because the J's and the same date, it can get really confusing at times.
And to me, why the hell did it take a month to come back 3 days before the fight? Why? I don't understand why that takes a month. I don't know. The process, obviously, it's a lot more than I'm thinking it should do, but that seems a long time to notify. And just on the fact that Team Whyte were notified, his trainer is saying he didn't even know about the hearing. He didn't even know about it. But this whole VADA thing, great. But we're going to get into the alleged substance, I think, because you've done a bit of research and looked into it. I've seen
and quickly, just because of that, I will add, Eddie has now come out and said the substance is not Direnabol. He did kind of waffle on it and did say, I am not aware that is that substance or something to that effect. He's very specific with his wording. But he is claiming he thinks it's a different substance, or he's been notified it's a different substance.
It was also part of a conversation where he said, I've seen them reporting it was 2 substances, 3 substances, and things that I've seen different reporting on it. He said, which I would say is not true, which is not the case. So it's maybe unclear that he's saying it wasn't Direnabol or
I think, to be honest,
number of substances or something, but he's kind of refuting the fact that some of this has been not it's misinformation or it's wrong.
I understand what Eddie's saying, but Eddie's also spreading misinformation within that same quote because, as far as I'm aware, Rob, no one out there is reporting multiple substances. They reported 2 metabolites, which are metabolites for Direnabol. So I think Eddie is saying, I've heard 3 substances and mentioning the 2 metabolites of the substance and having some misinformation about. Because as far as I know, no one has reported anything other than Direnabol.
Yeah. I don't know. But
quickly, because VADA got a little petty here, it seems. This was weird. VADA does this sometimes. VADA.
Wait, I sent you the tweet.
Yeah. Let's talk about it. VADA saying on Twitter, VADA does not release our results or anyone else's results to the media. We always release our results to the fighters, their representatives, commissions, promoters, sanctioning bodies, the ABC, and their designated record keeper. Look, I get they're trying to cover your ass there, VADA, but Dan Rayfield was pretty clear that he obtained a copy of your report from one of the fighters' teams, presumably Oscar Rivas' team, right? I would assume. I'm not thinking Dillian Whyte's handing out that information to the media right now. I think Dillian Whyte's pretty keeping everything close to his chest, but
locked down.
yeah. I don't blame him, but I don't think Dillian Whyte's the one out there for the information
to do so. I think so.
Now there has been some questioning for a second. Let's say that this is Duranable. Let's just say that the reporting is right. The detection window is there's obviously a spectrum to it, right? Bloody Elbow reported. I'm kind of upset about this because I like Bloody Elbow. I like Patrick Sternberg. Like I expect a little bit better. But they released this article obviously about the news today, and they had a statement right here. The substance White failed for, an anabolic steroid known as Duranable, has a fairly short detection window when taken orally. Some brief snooping suggests a maximum of 9 weeks. Now, look, it's a hyperlink. I go and click on it. Not found. The requested URL is not found on this server. A little bit upsetting. I did some digging as much as I could in the very limited window of time we had. I found 2 sources. One from a research article from a bunch of doctors, Michael Paulette, Willem Vaughn, a bunch of European doctors who did it looks like a giant volume of drug testing and analysis. And they cited down here for one of the metabolites that's been tested for Dillian Whyte, meth. I'm not gonna pronounce the name. I'm just not.
Did the one beginning with M?
Both of them start with M, which is like the worst part. Sorry, ours starts with an H. I don't know. They both. It's confusing. I'm not gonna try to pronounce the names. But one of the metabolites that's in Thomas Hauser's reporting has a detection window of only in this research article 3.5 days. However, WADA has a different metabolite. It's not the same one. This is a 2005 piece, a little bit older. That's not as recent as the more updated piece I just mentioned. They say that it's a 19-day window for one of the metabolites for Duranable, which also has the name metin. I'm not going to try to pronounce it. It's right there.
It's just good on Scrabble, especially on the triple.
Really good on Scrabble. It's in the live chat. There it is. I'm not trying to pronounce it. That's the other name for Duranable. Duranable, I think, is like the brand name, I want to say.
It's just metadienone.
Oh, yeah, Rob. Way to go. Way to go, you. So, back to the reported numbers, or I should say dates on the testing. The testing or the tests that we have from VADA fall out of the window that we have per WADA and per the research article that I found. Therefore, it's not really relevant per UCAD's case. So just want to sort of preface all of that, because I've seen some talk about Duranable, the half-life of it, etc. Look, this is what I found. 3.5 days to 19 days is the window for metabolites for Duranable. This falls out that window.
Yeah, I mean, again, without the dates of all the tests.
Oh, the VADA testing, yeah.
Yeah, and all the UCAD tests, because obviously the issue is VADA didn't pick this up, and UCAD have found a query or an issue or whatever it's being, termed as
adverse finding, adverse analytical finding.
So yeah, we just can't, at the minute, suddenly it's gone from VADA is the gold standard to VADA shit. They don't find dopers and stuff. So it's okay. We just need more information.
Quick things from the chat that I need to sort of just point out is just false. AOBZ saying, nah, I've seen channels saying multiple substances. Look, you can have some Yahoo on YouTube, and look, glass house stones right now. Totally understand. But some Yahoo on YouTube saying, oh, White's guilty, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't mean much. What does the reporting say? What does the reporting say? The reporting does not say multiple substances. They say multiple metabolites for one substance. I've not seen any other reporting state that. Please, AOBZ, link us the channels, the articles, the reporting that you find for other substances. And also, quickly, Joey Ocean saying Savada tested Dillian once. No. They popped him for one test. We didn't say you tested him once. I don't know where you got that from. We only know of one test from them, though. The positive test, obviously. And Joey Ocean saying 40 grand for one test. That 40 grand was not to UCAD. It was to VADA. And maybe I need to explain this for people because obviously they are mixing this all up. Clean boxing program, VADA, UCAD. People seem to be mixing this all up. So I will try to do, in my best way, to explain the PD regulatory apparatus. Okay? You have the WADA code. They are not a testing agency. They determined what is a banned substance, PD, the thresholds, all of that stuff. They determined that. Okay? They fund research into this field. That is basically what they do. They have testing agencies that fall under the WADA code. For example, USADA in the US. Also, UCAD in the UK. Those are the national testing agencies of those countries. Each sort of country represented in the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, and obviously, which is tested under the WADA code, fall under all those national agencies. Okay? VADA is not under the WADA code. It is very similar. There are some minor differences, but largely speaking, they're roughly the same. There's minor differences in terms of testing thresholds, minor differences in terms of certain banned substances like cannabinoids, a la like marijuana and stuff. But largely speaking, when it comes to anabolic steroids, it's the same. So in this case, we can say like there's really no difference between VADA and WADA agencies.
Wasn't this like part of the Billy Joe thing? Like,
yes, yes, it was.
In competition and out of competition, and
absolutely.
There's some differences in that kind of thing.
Yes, Billy Joe's case was exactly that. That VADA and UCAD, which is a WADA accredited agency, had differences in their rules and regulations. That's how you had that discrepancy in ruling.
And why it was a VADA test he failed on, and then he didn't get his license.
Yes. Traditionally speaking, testing agencies in the U.S. do not determine punishments. A la USADA, VADA in the U.S. do not determine punishments. Whatever sanctioning or licensing apparatus, a la the commissions or the sanctioning body, are the ones that determine punishments. In the UK, it is different. Obviously, British Boxing Board Control came out with the statement and said, nope, we do not make determinations on punishment. It is UCAD, which I found quite interesting that they made that determination in difference. Back to some of the differences in VADA and WADA, and also the clean boxing program, because people are mixing up VADA and the clean boxing program. The WBC have a VADA program, so therefore they license out a third-party agency, in this case, VADA, and in any other case it could be USADA or other agencies, right? And they give them a certain amount of money per month. Thomas Hauser has reported is $10,000 per month, which comes out to an average of $40 per fighter per month for testing. Okay, that is different than Dillian Whyte's additional 40 grand in VADA testing. Those are separate programs, in theory. Okay, so in Dillian Whyte's case, to sort of bring it all back down to this specific case and to contextualize it, Dillian Whyte is under the jurisdiction, okay, of UCAD, which obviously British Boxing Board Control as well, WBC, and that's it. He is being tested, though, by the WBC through the clean boxing program in VADA, through his separate VADA program, and then UCAD. And the VADA program that he opted in for an additional cost has a obviously different amount of testing allocated for it than the clean boxing program. So I just wanted to sort of explain this all out for people because there seems to be a lot of misunderstanding about these acronyms and what means what. So I think that has sort of explained like the board that we're talking about, the chessboard right now. I don't know if I need to explain anything else, Rob. I think I hit it all. Because
yeah. So because of White's obviously ranking, he has to be part of the clean boxing program. If he doesn't,
yes, top 15 fighters. It's the top 15
top
fighters.
15 of all the weight classes for the WBC. And this is why it came out with House saying they get 10 grand a month from the WBC to test all 15 of those fighters from all of their weight categories, which then obviously highlights the fact that VADA, while maybe they do a good job, or as it maybe turns out they don't, but we don't know about any dates at the moment about their tests, it's a ridiculously low amount of money to try and pull that off. I think it worked out at like $40 a month per fighter or something like that, which is ridiculous. It just can't happen.
I will add, though, quickly, in terms of carbon isotope testing, which is like a more stringent level of testing, VADA does that more often than WADA accredited agencies. So individual testing, VADA on average is probably, quote, better. But if they are not if they're not the ones that catch him on the right day, and when I say him, it could be anyone at this point, not just White, catch that person the right day, the right time, or have the right funding to have the right amount of testing for all that out of competition work, then they're not going to catch him. Because as Thomas Hauser and others report, look, these guys are taking substances, and maybe it's Direnabol, which obviously is a older substance. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger has admitted he took Direnabol back in the day, when fucking the 60s and 70s, right? But a modified version of Direnabol can absolutely go through your system in 24 to 36 hours, 3 days, 3.5 days. It is entirely possible that UCAD tested him on June 17th, popped him, right? And 2 days later, 3 days later, 4 days later, they go to test him in terms of VADA, and he passes clean. That's entirely possible, guys. That's not without the realm of possibility. So I just want to add, we do need more information.
100%
about especially in terms of the extra VADA program that White
paid for. Yeah,
paid for, because if, let's say, there's a test on the same day or a day close to
the day before, or
the day after, then it helps his case. It does. If not, it doesn't really help his case, and it just is. It then becomes more irrelevant.
Yeah.
Where, like, yeah, of course, for those that don't understand why VADA can catch him or UCAD can catch him and vice versa, not catch him, this can happen. It happens quite often, actually. And also, there might be a discrepancy in terms of punishment because he was under the jurisdiction of more than one sanctioning and licensing agency.
Yeah, so like I sort of said at the start, if we get more information, if we get dates, but I don't even know if you read out. Did you read it? Oh, yeah, you did. The VADA thing, but they're not going to release any information. No. It doesn't seem. UCAD and this British Boxing Board of Control, like, complete confidentiality thing seems to be in place, and I think we're only going to hear whether he's guilty or innocent. I don't know how much detail we're actually going to get, even when this is resolved. I don't know. I'm sure once it's done and dusted, whether Eddie says more on the situation or tries to explain certain things. But it does appear that at this hearing, the VADA information or the analysis and everything has been quite pivotal into the decision from the National Doping Panel, or what
allowed him to fight. Yeah,
allowed him to fight, was very pivotal in that decision. So I think I sent you a clip of Eddie talking, Matt, but he says the good news is it's good news, and sort of then had to pull himself because obviously I think he keeps wanting to say more, but he keeps trying to. Oh, but I'm not allowed. I don't know. But I don't know. For me personally, at the minute, there seems to be not a growing confidence that everything's going to be all right, but there's just, I don't know. There's more. I think there's more information that we obviously don't know yet that is possibly leading to it aiding Dillian Whyte's case at the moment. But this should not escape the fact or go past the fact that there needs to be some changes in how UKAD and the British Boxing Board of Control kind of does things regarding this. I think the whole sort of procedures or whatever. I don't know, but
the definition of interested parties needs to be expanded, right?
Yeah, I mean,
and for those who don't know what I'm talking about, in UKAD's ruling, there's a definition of interested parties, and when you pop for an adverse analytical finding or something of that nature, the interested parties, quote, get notified of that. They get a report of that. Dillian Whyte's team and sort of opponents in a fight they don't fit under the current definition of interested parties. If that's expanded, then this issue kind of goes away. Because again, I'm okay with, let's say, in any fighter's case, if they want some confidentiality within their bubble before it gets out to the media and the fans so they can defend their case. I understand that. Look, you're talking to somebody, Rob, you know this, that has defended Canelo's case. Till this day, I defend Canelo's case, right? So I'm okay with Whyte, in theory, having a defensible case here for his specific...
Are you sure, Mauricio? Are you sure?
Get out of here. Totally threw me off now. I was going on a great rant there. Fucked it all up there, Rob. Thank you.
Saved everybody. It's all right.
God damn it. But Dillian Whyte, his case needs to be aware to his opponents. Like his opponent needs to be aware of his case, because otherwise it just seems so innately dangerous for fighters. Like if UKAD and the British Boxing Board of Control's main goal is to regulate the sport, in a sense, because that's what their goal is, then this seems like crony regulation, like on its surface. So if they just fix the rules, I think this issue largely goes away, because again, if Whyte has a great case, and per my competitors reporting, which we don't know if it is true now because Eddie's refuting the reporting of it being Durantable, if those are ultra trace amounts, they fall under a certain threshold, he has some sort of supplement that he has that he can go and point to, like, look, that we've tested this from another party, it comes up positive for Durantable, we didn't know, I didn't say this in the ingredients. If there's reasons for it, I'm fine with Dillian Whyte getting either a slap on the wrist or nothing and moving on. I'm completely fine with that. However, the main and primary issue, which should be stated continually, is that if you pop dirty for a banned substance, a PD, and your B sample is not back yet, and you literally have a hearing hours before your fight, your opponent should know. And your opponent should have a representative there at the hearing. Point blank, full stop, end of story. Dillian Whyte's case, in terms of his innocence, is a different aspect, and to me, honestly, a completely different issue than UKAD's rulings and procedure.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of right behind that sort of idea, but if it turns out,
wait, what? Huh? We're agreeing?
Largely. But if it turns out that Dillian Whyte is clean, there's some kind of error, then it's almost like the panel's decision was kind of right. If he hasn't actually popped dirty, or there's I don't know.
But look, if he went to the hearing and had a fucking solid case, right? If they have transparency, then we know that case. Oscar Rivas' team knows that case, and we move the fuck on. Their lack of transparency is directly leading to this issue more, right? Is it not increasing this to be more of a a conflict in the boxing world because of the lack of transparency. If we knew what was said in that hearing, Rob, don't you think we would be, having an easier time understanding this case, even maybe forgiving Dillian Whyte, right? But we don't know. There's a complete lack of transparency. So therefore, all we can go off of is the great reporting of Thomas Hauser, who is a great reporter and is probably the greatest investigative journalist in the sport. I mean, his work on USADA back in 2015 was, I would argue, revolutionary to the sport. It single-handedly brought in VADA to a higher pedestal and brought USADA down, and that's a great thing because USADA needed to be pushed down. He blew the whistle on what they were doing. Sorry,
Isn't USADA what governs UFC? Like the testing agency for UFC.
But anyways, I just think that this case, while it is far from being over, it is 100%, not 100%, it is largely at fault of UCAD for a litany of issues. One being transparency, two being their rulings and procedures, and three, honestly, for the seeming bias towards UK fighters. I will add that part. I would say seeming too, because we have heard of similar cases like Fury Hammer, and that was a UK fighter versus a non-UK fighter, and the same situation happened. That worries me, just from a testing agency. And we've had issues of that in the US as well with USADA, so there are just things to be of concern here when it comes to the testing apparatus, both in UK, in the US, and in boxing as a whole. Rob, anything else we need to talk about when it comes to this subject, or do you want to move on? Because we've talked about this one for 30 minutes.
I mean, you linked me with Warren earlier, but I want to distance myself just a little bit after he made claims on a BT interview that friends at the British Boxing Board of Control told him they didn't want Dillian Whyte to fight, and that video has now been taken down as it's him saying someone's broken the confidentiality agreement that is between the fighter and the case. So yeah, I don't know. From what I can make out, there's a lot of people potentially, depending on the results, either getting some kind of lawsuit heading their way or whatever. I don't know.
No, they aren't. No one's getting sued. Hey, Rob, can you name one time a fighter or a promoter or any sporting entity has sued reporters when it comes to PD coverage?
I don't know about PD coverage, but I think Frank Warren is quite synonymous with suing everybody that says stuff. But I don't know. I'm not sure.
Who has he sued that said stuff? Was like the Sun?
Yeah, possibly.
They don't count as a outlet anymore. Come on. The Daily Mail. Come on. Moving on. Still on UK, though. We're going to stick to heavyweight right now. AJ Ruiz location seems to be hinted at by a lot of different sources. First, we're going to go to Eddie and get his sort of thoughts on it. Because I think we don't need to say everything. We don't need to play the clips, I think, from Ruiz just to save time from the Joe Rogan show. But Andy Ruiz was on the Joe Rogan podcast. You all know what I think about the Joe Rogan podcast and just Joe Rogan himself. But Andy's on it, I guess, so go support it. But Eddie Hearn on Sky Sports.
Speaking a lot to Ruiz's team this week, sort of keeping them up to speed with where we're going. Look, they don't want to come to the UK. They never have done. I think they use the sort of Dillian Whyte saga as a little bit of a scapegoat, in that decision as well. And we have to take that into consideration. Contractually, we know our position, but we want to make sure we get the fight done. We want to respect Andy Ruiz, but we'll decide where the venue is. A neutral venue, he'd be a lot happier with. I think I can rule out America right now. Cardiff is still the front runner. He's still the favourite. There are some other interesting options that would be quite iconic internationally, which does involve a lot of aggravation logistically, but does involve a spectacle that would be, quite unique. So we haven't ruled out anywhere yet, but I would say that and I keep saying this, but in the next 48 hours, Andy Ruiz's team will be alerted to where this fight will take place. And don't rule out anywhere yet, Fraser. Don't rule out anywhere.
I will add that. Actually, I'll just play this clip from the Joe Rogan podcast. Fuck it.
How long did it take to negotiate the rematch? I'm sure you had contract clause, right?
Yeah, we had a contract clause. We've just been going back and forth, with my team and their team.
Because I heard they were trying to get you to go to England.
Yeah, but no.
And you were like, I want to stay in America, but there's some we can't say what's happening.
I'd love to have it back over there at the Madison Square Garden. I'd love to run it back and.
Fuck, man, how about the Staples Center?
The Staples Center. That's what I said too in one of the interviews. But
or Vegas.
Vegas would have been great too.
Yeah,
right. But wherever it is going to be an amazing.
Maybe I played the wrong clip.
Yeah. There's a rematch that is in negotiation now. How much can you tell us?
That is going to be in December, sometime December. There's going to come out pretty soon.
Can you
I don't want to say
it's going to be.
I can't
you already
say
told me.
I did tell you, but
I'm not telling anybody.
No, don't tell nobody.
Until the cameras are off.
Yeah, but it's going to be this year. It's going to be an exciting fight. Me and Anthony Joshua rematch. But the word's going to come out soon. Where's it going to be at? If anything, I'll message you and be like, "Oh, you already know. Actually, you already know."
God, where do you say not the UK? Did I miss that?
The next one. Hang on.
The next one? Damn, you need to properly specify which one's which, Rob.
I'm about to highlight it. I've emphasized it.
Yeah, not the one that has. Hey, he says not the UK here.
This one.
Well, now, yeah.
So you worried about that if the fight takes place in the UK?
Somewhat, but it's not going to be over there. So
he's never tested positive before, right?
He's never have. So
you just gave up the ghost. You said it's not going to be over there. So now people narrowed it down. There's 197 countries. Now we know it's not going to be.
Okay, guys. It's in Nigeria, right? Is that what we're thinking? Is that the new conspiracy theory? I'm okay with that. Hey. What, Rob?
I don't know.
What, Saudi Arabia? You still banking on Dubai?
I'm being told
Abu Dhabi?
I'm being told Jeddah, but
you're being told. Wait, Rob, do you have sources you didn't tell me? I'm upset about this right now.
If you haven't got the chat function opened, then that's your own problem.
You're just saying sources are telling me. You didn't tell me what sources.
I don't need to tell you my sources, Matt.
Yes, you do. You tell me all your sources.
But quickly on the
I'm upset.
I sent you an Eddie Hearn clip, and the guy shout out to Boxing
Social
-UK. No, it's a new channel. I'm going to see the guy. He's been credentialed for this Friday as well. But he said Africa, and Eddie Hearn went, that's a good shout. That's a good shout. But wait and see and kind of thing. But that's where Eddie said as well. We can rule out America, which Andy Ruiz kind of did there. He said, I would have loved to have. It's all a little bit past tense. I would have loved to have done it in MSG. Run it back. Then Rogan said Staples Center, and he said, yeah, I brought that up when it first got talked, and then Rogan interrupted him, but the but kind of suggests it ain't there. And then Vegas, he goes, oh yeah, I would have loved it in Vegas. So Ruiz saying it ain't UK, and obviously listing off.
I still want to know who your source is. I'm upset right here that you're hiding this. Text me. Just text me right now.
Nah.
Just text me your source, damn it. I'm upset now.
Don't worry about it.
I'm hurt.
But
I'm hurt, Rob.
Look, it's Mike Coppinger, all right? No. He said
wouldn't it be a great flip in the story is that then Mike is one of the sources?
The the Nigeria thing gathered a little bit of pace today over in the UK on Twitter. Joshua was on, I think it was on his Snapchat, and maybe his Instagram as well. But when he was out in Nigeria, he was in a big stadium, bunch of kids, all, it was kind of like Ali Boumaier, it was big, crazy scenes and stuff. And that at the time got me and then Eddie mentioned these other countries are coming in. So things have kind of added up, Joshua, the Nigeria links, and all that kind of stuff. But I looked it up just out of interest, and I thought, oh, exactly the same time zone as the UK, so ideal for the pay-per-view. No one's staying up till 4:30 in the morning. Cool. Looked up like temperatures in November, and it says it's like mega humid. Like it's like tropical, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So super humid, and it's like 2,000 meters above sea level. So for someone who a lot of people believe has got gassing issues, I don't think needs to be fighting 2,000 meters above sea level in high humidity. So that's just my theory on it. But that, I mean, it would be one hell of a spectacle. You know, think of the fights, the fight in Africa.
So Rob, you think it's Jeddah? You think it's your source? Air quotes.
I don't know. I'm just being told one thing. There's other speculation. I've seen, like you said, Dubai. A lot of money coming out of there, but the whole Saudi Arabia thing.
Hey,
although
hey,
that fight hype,
we're gonna get to that later in the show. Poor Amir Khan.
Yeah, there's a reason I might rule that one out. I don't know, but yeah, crazy. But yeah, so I've seen people saying, see, it's not in the UK. Andy Ruiz is the A side. Yeah, well, I don't know that Andy Ruiz is chosen this possible next destination. I don't know, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. Not the US and not the UK. I mean, that's a big thing for boxing, right? A big, massive heavyweight fight is now not landing in either the UK, where obviously we've had some big events with Wembley, and obviously the US has got all the history of the big heavyweight fights at MSG and all the those kind of places. So yeah, for this not to be in either location is quite sort of big news.
It's 100% going to be in the UK. Probably Cardiff or the Principality Stadium or whatever. So that's what I'm guessing, to be quite honest, just because I want to be a pessimist because you piss me off the whole, you're not going to tell me your source. Moving on.
By the way, VADA very quickly, VADA have just tweeted out, VADA testing congratulates Oscar Kaboom and Dillian Whyte for successfully completing our program through
Yo!
They've just done it. They just
that is so petty. I love
first
it.
comment didn't complete you, Cad.
Of course. Shout out to the internet.
Joshua Ruiz, whatever you want to.
Oh, we're moving on. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I don't care anymore. Just upset at you, man.
It's big, if it's not either place, that's big.
Yo, you go to one show and now you're already big upping me. Like, fuck out of here, man.
I always big you up.
It's not what I meant by that, but anyways. Fury, speaking of still heavyweights, still UK, because heavyweights and the UK are synonymous with each other right now. Fury to fight September 14th or Vegas, in Vegas, or September 21st in Boston. Opponent to be determined. And of course, it has now come out that Charles Martin, this is rough, guys. Charles Martin is not going to be fighting.
Sad music, man.
Ah, man.
How can the god not get his shot?
You know what? They're just ducking him, man. It hurts, man. Hurts deep down.
It's I don't know. My heart can't ruin my day.
You know what? When we're talking about travesties in the sport, like Dillian Whyte's case is like whatever, but Charles Martin not getting a shot at Tyson Fury, it hurts my soul, man. It hurts my soul.
There's only one way to put it.
Fuck that shit. Fuck boxing. Fuck boxing.
Yes.
How can we not have Charles Martin as the lineal heavyweight champion of the world?
You know, they just don't want to see him in that suit. That's what it is, guys. They want to see a guy that looks that good in that suit. Clear.
Giving out those sound bites.
Yeah, come on.
I'm really disappointed. Genuinely, purely that my soundboard needed, a few little new ones. And I felt this was going to definitely fucking give them to us. Because that press conference was going to be electrical.
Anyways, who do you think is his opponent?
I think Trevor Bryant's now apparently.
It's going to be Trevor Bryant, right?
I think so. And I don't think it's going to be September 4th. I don't think Tyson Fury is saving the the September Mexico independence.
Well,
or whatever.
especially with the Vegas Devin Haney card that has potentially Jaime Munguia, Vargas, Usyk potentially.
I think you need to stop thinking this is one huge card. I'm just not getting the impression.
But no. But the point is, the Zone has a card that weekend. You're competing with that card. Yeah. That would not make sense, especially if you're. Again, sorry, Tyson Fury. No, he did numbers. Like from what we heard that he did good numbers on ESPN Plus.
What were they of ESPN Plus that never give out numbers?
Yeah, but we heard rumors that he did quite well. Like we heard whispers, nothing concrete, but like people on podcasts were like, "Hey, I've heard that like ESPN we're happy with Fury's numbers on ESPN Plus." So, stuff like that. Nothing in terms of actual viewership.
Maybe the social media numbers.
I mean, social media numbers were great, obviously. So I think that's a good barometer. I don't know. I agree with you though. I don't think he lands on that Mexican Independence Day weekend. But hey,
first in Boston. I don't know why this Irish thing is coming into it because he's not actually Irish, but obviously the heritage is there. But big Irish community that potentially show up.
Yeah, but like fake Irish people in America, they're going to support UK Irish as like one thing, because America kind of views it as one thing, like we do. Like we're kind of ignorant. We're ignorant that way. We just do.
They support UK Manchester Mancunians.
Like you put like a Welsh guy, a Scottish guy, and a British guy next to each other. They all look the same. Just saying.
Yeah, you wouldn't put an American in there because they clearly stand out. It'd be the really noisy one.
Ah, man, overweight, bro. Come on.
Yeah, the huge noisy one.
The huge noisy one, yes.
Trying to be the most important man in the room.
And especially especially the accent. That's the thing. Like I can kind of tell slightly like Chicago and Boston accents. They kind of sound the same. But I can still tell that's American.
Kind of like whiny, that kind of.
Yeah, like a New York accent or like a Bronx accent, kind of like.
I know New York's really aggressive.
Yeah.
Thick-skinned people over there.
Anyways, moving on. This off-road. Keith Idek reporting, as we stated earlier, about the Derevchenko-Canelo purse bid that's today, but he reported this yesterday, that the Triple G sort of guarantee is no longer sort of demanded by DAZN, Rob. DAZN losing its teeth, and on top of that, obviously the deadline is again today at the end of the business day today. So whenever that is.
What is the closing window of a boxing business day?
I think it's 5 p.m. West Coast time.
When does the IBF clock out?
Fuck, I don't know. But anyways, Rob.
Yes.
Canelo, Derevchenko. I think it's going to happen. I know there's a significant amount of money apart per Chris Mannix, but I think that's going to be dealt with. And on top of that, with Triple G not being attached, I think the big holdup for Canelo to take the fight is gone, in theory, I would say. So, and on top of that, Canelo obviously won the battle between him and DAZN. Rob, any comments about how DAZN doesn't have a backbone to Canelo, but yet hopes to buy rights to the NFL?
Oh my God. I'm not even going to go there. I know that was thrown out with a huge piece of bait on the end, but not bitten. Smart fish over here. But
I'm just saying, Rob, if you can't make a fighter that makes $300 million over a decade,
you can't make a fighter fight who you want them to fight. You can't physically make them do it.
Hey, I've been hearing it's in the contract, Rob. What happened to that contract that specified Triple G had to be one of the fights?
Send me the link.
Like Chris Mannix and tons of people have reported that there's been specific wording in the contract to push for a Canelo Triple G fight. What that wording is, we don't know, of course, but we have been hearing that there's something in the contract, whatever that something is.
Well, anyway, where are all the show headlines of Canelo lowballing everybody? That's what I want to know.
I mean, to be fair, I really don't think he's lowballing these people. That's my take. Daniel Jacobs got $12 million, bro. That's so far above market value. Nah, they're good, man. No one's getting lowballed in this era with DAZN.
But isn't DAZN not chipping in anymore on some of these things, whereas they did with?
What do you mean they're not chipping in?
As far as like with the who was it, Jarrell Miller, they bumped up. I think the offer from like Matchroom as such was like 4, and DAZN put an extra whatever into the purses or something.
I don't remember that. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm saying I don't remember that.
Yeah,
you could be right, but I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure I am.
I'll be honest. I kind of wanted to forget about AJ Miller, the fight that should have happened that never did. RIP.
But yeah, I don't know, this whole Canelo thing, and even the Canelo Triple G thing. I think I said it a couple of shows ago. The longer this fight doesn't happen, the more I don't even want it anymore. So, I don't know. Go and make your mandatory defense. If not, I think Canelo Triple G is going to get your bout. Does that mean you're going to then go and want to get it back? Doubt it. You're the franchise champion with the WBC. You know, bouts don't really matter. You don't even have to win to keep that title. So whatever. I don't know. The whole Canelo thing's getting a bit boring for me now. I don't know. Just fucking tell us who you're fighting, and I'll decide whether I want to tune in.
There's a reason why I put it so far back into like midway through the show. Honestly, like we're midway through the show at this point.
Personally, some of the signings are more important to me than who Canelo's fighting next.
Well, I think you personally probably get more hyped about it, but I mean, more important, probably not. Speaking though of Triple G, Eddie Hearn, per IFL, and by way of Michael Benson, because I'm not watching an IFL interview for an hour and 20 minutes. Eddie Hearn has revealed that Triple G could return October 5th in LA. I like that. While
credential form filled out, Matthew.
Oh, hell yeah. While Chisora versus Parker may headline at the O2 in London October 26th. I think that's a great fight. I've been saying it for a long time. They should have just expedited that fight for a while. Like, those guys both took tune-ups they didn't need to take.
Yeah, well, I think the deal fell through the first time of trying.
Yes, it did. Yeah, of course.
So, in the meantime, instead of keep trying to make it, I think they went, and then this is all roads have led to fighting each other. But very quick, Matt, I don't know. I think I saw a rumoured venue was Temecula, so yeah, for Triple G. So I don't know whether you're going to do that one. You did say you'd never go there again.
Wait, what? Sorry?
Triple G, I think the rumoured location was somewhere like Temecula or something. I can't.
No way. Please tell me it wasn't Temecula.
I'm joking. I'm really joking.
Okay.
Before you fill that form out, I just wanted to throw that out.
If it was Temecula, I'm not going. Sorry.
Chance to cover Triple G. Come on.
Yo, it's 3.5 hours, bro.
I'm going to be doing like fucking Liverpool tomorrow.
Yeah, but that's 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
How far was Temecula?
3.5.
Oh, come on.
It's an extra hour, bro. It's an extra 33% of time.
All right.
Actually, for you, it'd be a 50% increase in time.
Yeah, but, you know, with the time delay for me, it doesn't seem that bad.
Time dilation, of course. Moving on. Per the one and only infamous Steve Kim. Which, by the way, Rob, it's funny. I had to like log into Mixed Combat Radio's Twitter account on my computer.
Yeah.
So we can talk about this topic, of course, because he blocked me because bigots can't take any criticism. But Steve Kim saying, so what I'm told is that World Boxing Super Series still hasn't sent money over to Regis Progress for that fight with Joshua Taylor to proceed. Clock is ticking. Man, I will add funny tweet from Mookie Alexander from Bloody Elbow saying live look at Prograis to Cale Sutherland with the gif of "Where's my money, man?" from Family Guy.
Yeah,
I gotta say that's classic. Thank you for that. Damn. Shah Clo saying, can we call in? You guys can call in at any time. Again, the queue, 323-870-4051. Press 1 to get in the queue. International callers call in on Skype, Mix Combat Radio. We have 4 or 5 more topics to get to, guys. I apologize. It's a long show. We didn't have a show yesterday, but we'll take calls. Don't worry. Get in the queue, though, now before it's too late. Rob, sorry, back to you. World Boxing Super Series. Progress not getting paid yet. Still have not heard back from Donaire and Inoue. So, I doubt that fight's going ahead as planned. What are we thinking?
I'm thinking we're due a very angry Ludabella interview or tweet, but I don't know. It's such a shame because it's such a great idea. When it actually happens, it's great to look at. It's fun. We get some great fights. We get unifications. We find out pretty much who the man of the division is from the tournaments. And yet it just seems absolutely riddled with fucking bullshit. And
Yo, Dwayne in the chat, hold on, saying, can I super chat to help support the World Boxing Super Series? They're a little short on funds.
yes, you can. No problem. We'll make sure that gets there.
Yes, we're going to wire that money over to them. Don't worry, Dwayne. Go ahead and super chat right here.
I will, you never know. Callum might be at the show tomorrow. So if you want to send it, I can hand it over via diesel that's left in my tank.
But Callum got paid. But Callum Smith got paid, right?
I said Calla.
Oh.
Sutherland was there. I could hand him over.
I heard Callum. Close enough. See,
what?
you can see that. You can see that. But moving on, World Boxing Super Series, they're almost dead in the water at this point, it seems, when it comes to funds again. So
I can't wait for the announcements on the new season. What weights they're going to do.
Cruiserweight again.
Oh, please no.
Oh, it's coming.
Although saying that, we'll probably get a Coley in this one. Muhammad Ali trophy. Coley.
Yo, Andrew Tabiti knocks O'Coley the fuck out.
Has he woken up yet to do that?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay.
I hope so, at least.
Checking.
Hey.
Just checking.
Hey, we all know if Dorticos fought O'Coley, oh my God. Devastation.
Who knows?
Who knows, Rob? I will stop this show right now, and we can argue for an hour if needs be about Dorticos versus Tabiti. I mean, not Tabiti. Sorry, Dorticos versus O'Coley.
Yeah.
You cannot in any way say that O'Coley has any chance against Dorticos.
Of course it can.
I fucking hate you. We're moving on. You're dead to me.
It just takes one punch.
No, we're moving on. It takes one punch. Yeah, everyone at that weight has power, right?
Yeah.
Right, Gary? Oh, no, that's heavyweight. My bad. But digressing, moving on.
1 pound difference. There's only 1 more pound and you're a heavyweight. So relax.
Doesn't matter.
I remember. I see what you did there now, actually. The whole Gary argument.
Jesse Vargas, again, breaking his own news, it seems.
Shout out to Jesse Vargas, man. Just putting it out there. I love it.
Yeah. Hey, transparency.
Why do we need fucking sources tell The Athletic or Dan Rovic, sources tell ESPN? Just fight us. Just tell us what's going on. Just say. Indigo, anyway, you read it out. But this is great.
No, I agree. I think
more of this, please, fighters.
Well, it does make it a little bit easier because you go, hey, Jesse Vargas is saying this.
Yeah. Do you think it's true? Do you think the sources are correct? Well, it's the fucking guy saying it. So.
And also Jesse Vargas, who does a lot of media, does a lot of commentating. He does the Spanish commentary for PBC.
Yeah. Just like he does for his tweets as well. We get the English version and the Spanish version.
Yeah, which, hey,
good.
He is definitely media trained, and you can tell that. And I like that. I think he's going to have a great, after career, post career in boxing as just a media personality.
I've heard as well. Obviously, I don't understand what he's saying in Spanish, but I've heard he's actually good. No, as a pundit or an analyst or whatever, he is actually good at it.
Yes, I agree. I've heard the same thing. Not that I agree because I don't know Spanish either. Jesse Vargas saying we are one step closer to making Vargas Munguia match in boxing. Golden Boy Boxing has approved, and now only waiting for the approval of Sanford Promotions. We hope to finalize the deal very soon. hey, look, good for Jesse. I like that we're getting closer to this fight. I think it's an okay fight to make at this point. So, yeah.
No, it's all right. I know you disagree because of his last outing, but I think he's got a chance there. I don't think Munguia looked fantastic against Hogan.
He has a chance, but I'm not picking him to win. I should put that out there.
I will. He's Matchroom. Of course I will. Let's go, Vargas. No, I'm only messing. I think it could be a decent fight. I don't know. I think it's all right. Like you say, it's not Canelo on the big date against Triple G or anyone like that. It's Jaime Munguia and Jesse Vargas. So go figure. But it's all right. It's is it date saving? Kind of.
Yeah. Moving on, just for the sake of time. Again, call in 323-870-4051. Okay, guys, us Teofimo Lopez fans, we got to take an L right now. We got to take a massive L. Lopez coming out here and saying on the potential delay in the Comey fight. And it's basically due to the issues he's having within his camp and his team, which is his family. And this is like really high school-ish drama, I feel like, to be honest. So it's weird to me that we're talking about this, but Teofimo Lopez recently got married. His mom, who kind of works as his manager, doesn't like the newlywed wife. Therefore, she wasn't at his latest fight. I think we heard rumors about that, obviously, on fight night. But he's come out and said that is the issue. We're trying to sort of clean that up, and I'm not going to fight basically till that's done with, till we clear that up. So, whatever that means, Teofimo, I don't know about this. I don't know if it's legit, hey, I got family shit. I'm not worried about fighting until I've dealt with my family shit. Or, hey, I just had a tough one. I got some family stuff. Maybe it's a good time not to fight Richard Comey. I don't know, but regardless, the optics of it do not look good. When you are the quote takeover, and you come out with a headline of, what was it again? Teofimo Lopez on potential delay in Comey title fight pursuit. Yeah, that's not going to look that great to maybe your haters on social media, Teofimo. Just being honest. Rob?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's, if they've been a real close unit and working relationship within the family, and then, this issue comes up, maybe it's something that's taken away focus and everything. Is it any coincidence that it wasn't his greatest performance on the night? I don't know. Who knows? Only they know, or he knows that certain things affected him in that fight. Look, he won not virtually every round, but
he won the fight
handedly. But it's been questioned as he struggled a bit or whatever. But that's kind of, I think, a little bit hyperbolic. But yeah, I don't know. Shame if it's not going to happen on schedule. I think it was roughly November this was going to happen, the title fight. Surely you can get it sorted out by then, right? I don't know, but
I don't know. And we talked about this a little bit with Ryan Garcia in terms of his technical ability, not really drama per se, right? But young fighters, man, get away from your families. I know that's tough because usually if your mom or your dad's your manager and trainer, you kind of don't have to pay them as much or at all because they're family. You know what I mean? It's like living at your parents' house. It's rent-free, usually speaking, because it's your parents' house. That's sort of the same concept for these young fighters. It sort of offsets early costs in your career to have your family be involved in the management of your career. But if you're Teofimo Lopez right now, I would definitely get another trainer along with your dad just in case. I would definitely hire a new manager, a new agent, everything. Why? Because you've reached that pedestal where you start making some money, and you need to have people that are sort of divested from you personally, to be quite honest, helping you run your career. Because if those people have a personal investment in you, then that's where the drama starts. It's like living with your friends, right, Rob? I don't know if you ever had this situation, but like you go and like move in with your best friend, right? And then 6 months later you move out and you hate your best friend. Like that's sort of the same concept. Don't work with your friends. Like me and Rob, like we hate each other, so that's why we get along so well on the show.
Shut up.
Foo, we can't stand him. Okay.
No,
I'm kidding, Foo. He's gonna get actually kind of hurt, probably.
Foo is why you don't need to watch all 1 hour 20 minutes of an Eddie Hearn interview.
Oh my God, Foo. You guys need to see the group chat. You really don't actually, but God, Foo is going to bat for you guys in Matt's room. Hope you guys know that. More than Rob, which is like really surprising.
Nah, come on. He's just passing on information like I do.
Yeah, but he's doing it more.
Getting tagged as a stan for it.
He's doing it with a little more oomph. You're doing a little bit more passe, you know? Anyways, we can move on. Charlie Edwards, a fighter that I know Rob likes a lot. Now also I will say I tend to like him a lot. He's been improving a lot. Is fighting his mandatory, at this point, JC Martinez to the Loma Campbell card. He did have an option for a unification with Methylene, and he did not take that.
Next.
I'm a little bit upset about that, but hey, he's fighting his mandatory, so hey, I'm okay with that. Get it out of the way. I hope Methylene's next, as he has said and his team has said. I just hope that is true.
I think it will be.
I think it will be too.
They've been trying for this fight a little while now. I think it will happen.
Agreed. I agree. I think if like you had Edward versus Methylene on this card, it would have added something for me personally as just like a hardcore. It would have beefed up the card a lot. While now this just Charlie Edwards is on the card, not Charlie Edwards versus Methylene unification in the division. I'm psyched as a hardcore. You know what I mean? Like there's just a different vibe for me personally. Now for casuals, they give two shits. I understand that they don't care about this division. They probably don't even know who Charlie Edwards is. But for me personally, really would like that fight attached to this card. But digressing, he's fighting his mandatory JC Martinez. He should win handedly, especially since Edwards has been improving drastically from fight to fight. Cannot wait to see him next in his next fight because he is a rapidly improving young fighter. Rob, thoughts on this fight?
I think I agree. Obviously it would have made the card even better. I think it's going to be pretty fucking good anyway because I don't know. We're going to get to another fight on that card. I think in a second. I don't know, but I just wonder if budget. Not that these guys at that weight are making serious money, but does a unification fight probably demand more money, of course? And I just wonder if budget kind of came into play. But I think we'll see a unification with Charlie Edwards sooner rather than later. But yeah, no, it's like you said, he's improved. He's been on point in the last 2 or 3 fights. He's really come into his own and really showed us what he's about. And yeah, I look forward to seeing him fight. I really like him. But yeah, good addition to the card, which is shaping up nicely, I think.
Agreed. I think per the same IFL interview, and by way of Michael Benson again, Ricky Burns versus Lee Selby is in the works to potentially take place on September 17th at the SSE Hydro in Glasgow. He's added Callum Smith to the September 21st Liverpool card as well. I like the Ricky Burns Lee Selby fight. Makes sense. We have a faded veteran, but still can sort of produce some moments within rounds,
He's a tough guy.
Yeah, and Lee Selby. I mean,
from Rona, Figueroa, Ricky Burns, isn't it?
But I mean, he's one of those guys like you don't know what he is at this point. He has not looked good recently, so if he struggles with the old Ricky Burns, massive red flag should probably be put up for Lee Selby. Rob, any thoughts on this?
No, it's good. Sort of taking some boxing up to Scotland. Matching going up there. I know. Don't know whether Eddie attending the Inoue Rodriguez and Josh Taylor against Baranchik helped him make that kind of a decision to take some boxing up to Scotland. But yeah, no, it'll be a good fight, I think. Ricky Burns, like you say, probably one foot out of the door as far as career-wise kind of thing. You know, he's been there, kind of done it, and now it's, I guess, sort of biggish fights or as big a fight as he can get now on the tail end of his career. And yeah, let's see where Selby's at. But yeah, no, I like it. I like it. Did you skip the other fight that was made for Lomachenko-Krolla or
Lomachenko-Krolla?
I keep saying that. It's
the C's. It's the C's, man. Hey.
Lomachenko-Campbell, sorry.
What fight? Maybe I'm not.
Huey Fury and Povetkin?
Oh, no, I do not have that up. Maybe I did miss it. I remember seeing it. I thought maybe we talked about it yesterday, or I don't know. Maybe I just spaced on it. But yeah, Huey Fury Povetkin also attached to that card. I love that fight.
Yeah. Shout out to Huey Fury. You know, I believe he was offered the kind of welcome to Matchroom kind of fight. Yeah, you know, set yourself in. You know, make yourself at home, have a nice soft touch. But then Eddie said, "Oh, just by the way, Povetkin is looking for a fight," and they straight away, "Yeah, we'll take that. We want to fight for the most amount of money for the, you know, the best possible chance to, you know, move ahead in the division." And I think the bookies have got Povetkin a slight favorite at the moment. But yeah, I like that fight as well. I've never been super, you know, convinced by Huey Fury, but I keep,
you know, I was
the guy like 24 years old. I don't know.
Hey, there's a split second. There's a window of time there where Huey Fury was on top of the world and Tyson Fury was not. And it was after the controversial loss to Joseph Parker, where you had a select vocal minority, mainly just me on Twitter, yelling that Huey Fury won that fight and that Joseph Parker was completely ineffective with his aggression. And at that point, I want to say, again, sort of with my recollection of timing, that was like 350-pound Tyson Fury, right? Like that was simultaneously Tyson Fury at his lowest point at 300-plus pounds. Right, Rob?
Yeah, something like that.
And then in the span of, what, a year and a half, 2 years maybe, they have reversed to Tyson Fury, now lineal champion, wearing suits, ESPN, fighter, has the big contract, right? Beat Deontay Wilder for a lot of people's opinions. And Huey Fury, I think, is on the level of Lawrence Okolie for most people. Where, like, he is not must-watch TV, but what is the opposite of must-watch TV? Is there a term for that?
Turn off TV?
Like, throw out the TV content. Yeah, something. I don't know. But, like, that's what Huey Fury is now after some really bad fights.
I mean, look, he took the opportunity or the chance where Jerome Miller didn't want to, Dillian Whyte didn't want to go to Bulgaria and fight Pulev. Mm-hmm. So, you know, shout out. Like, I think didn't he fight Parker when he was like 21 for the world title? Then Pulev at like 22, 23 years old. Obviously, he's fought Samuel Peter at 60 years old.
The legend himself.
Yeah, he's not been the easiest watch, you know. It's kind of like the Tyson Fury thing. I know he brings a lot more, I don't know, humor and stuff regarding, you know, fight week's always going to be get ready with the screen record because there's going to be some sound bites and, you know, and Huey Fury isn't quite kind of that character, but it's similar kind of styles in the ring to a point. Like it's boxing, and I don't know, we don't particularly want to see heavyweights boxing, you know, back foot and that, but so it doesn't necessarily lend to great entertainment, but if it gets the job done for you. I mean, look, Tevin Farmer came out amongst criticism people saying he needs to knock everybody out and this, that, and the other, and he's like, look, I think it's all off the back of Dadashev dying and Centillion and whatever, but I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and I'm going to go home to my family. If you don't like it, kind of thing, tough. But
I have no issue if people want to fight that style.
Yeah.
It is... Not everyone can do it in an entertaining way, right? Like, Tevin Farmer, I would say, is a far more entertaining fighter than Huey Fury. But both are innately the same style, right? If you sort of break it down to its like core strategies. They're the same thing, but like one is far more entertaining. Same with like Tyson Fury and Harry Fury. Tyson's far more entertaining when he does it for a bunch of reasons, but the style is the same, you know? So I'm not I don't think that Tevin's wrong at all in what he said. I just also think that like people need to understand like not everything is going to be entertainment. You know, like it can be great. You can have talent, but you may not be entertaining. Those are two very different things.
Yeah, I mean, look, possibly the highlight of Tevin's last fight was when he was slipping all those shots in the corner, right? So people are like, "Oh, wow, check that out." But I guess a lot of people don't want to see that for like 12 rounds. That, you know,
Agreed.
They want to see that, you know, I've made you miss. Now I'm going to make you pay kind of attitude. But, you know, not everyone's knocking everyone out. That's just, you know, just how it goes, you know. But, yeah, Hughie Fury, I think potentially a good sign-in as far as he's a young heavyweight, still got a lot to learn, maybe improve on this, that, and the other. But could be a fairly solid sign-in. And, yeah, Povetkin, good enough fight as well on the undercard. So good card shaping up.
We're going to sort of speed through some of this news, Rob, if that's okay. Josh Warrington, October 12th, return to Leeds. Opponent to be determined. Probably going to be a soft touch.
Yeah, they were trying to make a unification, and apparently it proved difficult. But yeah, so in the meantime, this is going to be kind of ticking over.
Agreed. Nicola Adams. Shout out to Nicola Adams. Good friend of the show in a way. Good friend to Coach Mitty in a way. I mean, Mitty. That sounded odd. I should specify. Mitty is like, he's worked with her, right, in the past? Or what happened?
I'm not sure. You met her, though, right?
I've met her a couple times, yeah. She's lovely. She's a super nice person. And plus, I've always liked her in terms of her fighting career, like especially back in the amateurs. I was always a fan of Nicole Adams in the amateurs. Yeah. But good friend of the show in a way. You know, not maybe a direct way like Anthony Fowler, because you guys DM all the time, Rob. But, you know, slight friend of the show, Nicola Adams, now elevated to full WBO champ as Musino ruled out. Congrats to her. Though I know she has been talking recently about leaving the sport. I am curious as like what her headspace is, because she's doing a lot outside. She does a lot of stuff inside the entertainment industry that I'm not fully aware of, but I know she's actively involved. She's constantly at movie premieres. She's constantly involved in just Hollywood. So I would not be surprised to sort of see her transition to something else other than boxing, because it looks like that's what she's sort of setting up. Rob, any quick thoughts?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people like, oh, how can you just be given a world title without fighting for it?
Happens all the time.
Yeah, and I believe, was it the mandatory to the... she had like a car crash or something, all right? So I think Adams was the interim champion. So in true, you know, it's no different to, I guess, well, apart from, you know, there isn't a franchise champion involved, but, you know, Jamal Charlo, now the full middleweight. Yeah, that's what I said. Just the accent, that was all.
Just the accent. It's like the whole water thing, you know, with the US and UK people.
Water.
You're hearing UK people try to pronounce water with a US accent is hilarious, because you add so much like southern twang to it. It's great.
Rootin' tootin' water right there, boy.
Yeah, seriously. Anyways, moving on.
That was American.
Amir Khan swindled out of the Saudi money by business partner, ? By Penn Thompson of Fight Hype. Source close to the information have informed us that the multi-division former Amir Khan, blah, blah, did not get paid his full guarantee purses. So, yeah, Amir Khan didn't get paid, it looks like.
That's shit.
Hey, you're telling me that, like, oligarchic blood oil barons in the Middle East did not pay him? Darn it. I really hope Saudi starts bombing Yemen.
If he's signed a contract and that money is said is what he's going to get, and then they don't give it, I think that's, as much as people want to clown on Khan.
No. I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying, like, it's not surprising.
Maybe, but that's shit.
It's
And
like the
to be
shit.
fair, this whole Jeddah Saudi Arabia thing or whatever has been, at the end of it, it's left almost Amir Khan a fucking laughing stock, because he was apparently told he's getting the Manny Pacquiao fight. He then come out with it, done a fucking press conference and said it's signed and this. And then he's had to come out and say, well, that's what I was told, that's what and then now he's not getting his money, and he fought Billy Dibb and got a fucking world ranking, top 5 ranking or whatever for it.
Of course, as assumed.
The fucking MC, who should be in your list that you're doing later, by the way, but sang Baby Shark in the crowd while Samuel Peter was in the ring 15 minutes.
Not that type of MC. And what Rob is referring to is on Trending Now Network later tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Me, Fugatti, and Anthony Walker of ShareDog.com are going to get together and rank each of ours top 20 rappers of all time and debate who has the better list. Obviously, it's me. Sorry, Fu. Sorry, Ant. Tough shit.
Well, you put it in the chat as MCs. So obviously MC is Master of Ceremonies. So shout out to the MC in Saudi. Obviously, David Diamante's got to be in there.
And Rob, you got to say for that guy, he did have some really good bars with the whole Baby Shark thing. I will say that. There were some bars there, man.
Yeah. Ant and Deck. You won't know them, but they're big here.
Yeah.
Let's get ready to rumble. Watch us wreck the mic. Psych. People in the UK know. They know.
They know. Okay, last sort of air quotes long form topic, because it's several pieces I may address in sort of one topic. And I'm going to try to do it actually in a quick amount of time, just because for the sake of time for the show, I want to get to callers. But Ryan Burton, a boxing scene, and myself, Jake Donovan, and I want to say maybe a couple of the people had a interesting dialogue, I will say, on social media because of his reporting on Victor Ortiz. I think it was yesterday. And it's a benign piece in theory, right, about Victor Ortiz being impressed by Pacquiao, planning to fight again soon. And, you have this little blurb all the way at the bottom. Okay? Right? I mean, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At the 7th paragraph down. And by the way, what's after this little tiny paragraph is only 2 more sentences in the entire article. The Southern California native has had some legal issues that he is working on getting cleared up. And because of those issues, he hasn't been in the ring since February 17th, 2018. And obviously the dialogue on Twitter was a discussion about the way the reporting described those legal issues, which, to remind people, he's being charged with raping a woman. A felony charge of rape. That's not just some legal issues. Okay? And on top of this, the same day, Carlos Baldomir, everyone remember Carlos Baldomir from back in the day, sentenced to 18 years for a sex abuse case of a minor. Okay? And also, guys, let's not forget, today is also the hearing for Sergey Kovalev's, what was the exact charge? It was a felony charge, I know that, but it was aggravated assault, sexual assault? I forget what the exact...
This is not the being thrown off the plane one.
No. That's the one from Big Bear. This one from Big Bear.
Didn't he allegedly break her jaw? And
I don't know if he broke her jaw, but he punched her. I don't know if he broke her jaw.
Something with the nose, right?
It was yes, he fractured her nose, I want to say, or something like that.
Yeah.
But there is a hearing for Sergey Kovalev for a aggravated assault case, basically, today. Has anyone reported on that? No, but how many people are going to tweet about Dillian Whyte in his case that we still know nothing about? Marcus Brown is fighting this weekend. He's in front of his 4th now indictment on domestic abuse. 4th. Okay? I know boxing is not isolated to this issue for violence towards women, but we in this community, because we are involved in this community, have a distinct problem with violence towards women. And on top of that, us as media, to specify my class of people right now in this space, we do a very shitty job when it comes to reporting on this issue. Case in point, Ryan Burton's article today, which is atrocious. The fact that he can't even mention what charge Victor Ortiz is facing. A rape charge. For God's sake. But no, quote, some legal issues that he's working to get around. That's pathetic reporting, Ryan Burton. And I know you, Ryan. We've met tons of times. We've worked together in a sense. We've worked on the same beat before. When I was in Joseph Parker's camp way back in the day with Name Redacted, right, Rob? Ryan Burton was there. So I've been with Ryan Burton for an extended period of time. I know him. You fucked up here, Ryan. Big time. You can do better. And you can say, oh, I didn't ask him any questions because he was with this kid. That's fine, Ryan. I get that. At the bare minimum, you can write in your fucking article what charge he's being faced right now. And not just classify it as some legal case. That's pathetic journalism.
Check the one-on-one, by the way, if regarding Marcus Brown.
Oh, gosh.
Pascal went there.
Pascal, apparently at the press conference today, I didn't watch it, calls Brown a woman beater and pulls out a wig prop at the presser. I understand it. Look,
he put the wig on. I was reading the article. He put the wig on because Brown promised to knock him out. And he said, if I put this on, will it help? Kind of thing along those lines. If I look like a woman, is that you're going to promise the world that you're going to do that?
Good for John Pascal. I'll say that. Good for him. He has more balls than 90% of the boxing media. Good for him. Rob, I know I ranted and this isn't a topic that you prepared for. I just sort of wanted to do this topic on my own. Any thoughts?
I mean, as for the news coming out today of what's the guy with the sexual abuse of a minor? Wasn't it his daughter? Was it his daughter?
I want to say it was his daughter. I don't remember the exact reporting.
His daughter, anyone's daughter, whatever. It's fucking disgusting, and I hope he dies in jail. So, basically.
Yep.
But yeah, unfortunately, sometimes kind of these things have to be talked about, but it's not really, I guess, we're here to talk about boxing, but it's sometimes just can't go unnoticed what some of these guys that we watch in the ring do outside of boxing. So, but I think you kind of covered it, Matt.
It's for example, it's a dark one, but it's the most extreme cases, like Edwin Valerio.
Yeah.
Right? I still, to this day, Edwin Valerio is one of the most exciting fighters of all time, probably. Or at least of the last 20 years. But if you watch his fights and you don't have, a sickness to your stomach because of what he did, killing his wife who was pregnant at the time, I want to say, right? And then hanged himself in the jail, then, there's something missing in your DNA. You need to go get checked out by a therapist, probably, if, there's something in you that's not, bothering you by watching that content. Because it does to me. I'll put it this way. I'm going to be significantly bothered watching this Fox card on Saturday.
Matt, one-on-one chat should just arrive now.
Breaking news, of course, right? I'm
Breaking
assuming.
News.
Hold on, it's popping up.
Jingle.
Oh, my God. Wait. Okay, sorry, I misread that at first. I totally read that as Kovalev. I'm like, what? Why is he involved here?
Okay. Ah!
I'm going to have a fucking panic attack, to be honest. But breaking news, let's get to this. Change the topics. Again, violence towards women needs to be addressed in this sport. It needs to be addressed not only in this sport, but in society as a whole. Because we do have an issue with it and an issue when we address it. So, boxing media, because I am of that class of people, do a fucking better job. It's not that hard. But moving on to the breaking news. For Mike Coppinger, breaking. Sources tell The Athletic that negotiations between Canelo Alvarez and Derevchenko are now officially dead. Alvarez has been stripped of his IBF middleweight title after 3 p.m. Eastern time deadline came and went. Sides couldn't agree on money. Wow, shocking.
Wait. Breaking news. The end of a working day is fucking 3.
Yeah, and also like
lazy mother. I've done a right shift by then. I've still got 2 hours left. Damn.
yeah, that's kind of crazy. Anyways, Rob, I'll go to you. So fight's dead. Canelo stripped. I think we're gonna get what Triple G Derevchenko in that October date now is what I'm assuming.
Yep.
And Canelo might just wait. Could Canelo just wait till Kovalev Yard is done, maybe, or?
Well, Kovalev Yard's what, August
24th?
4th? Yeah. So how soon could Kovalev, assuming Kovalev wins, how quickly is he going to turn around and fight? What, November?
Yeah, I could see a November, December fight. When Yard beats Kovalev, and then
Canelo would want a November date, I guess.
Canelo Yard and MSG. That'd be huge, right?
I don't know why I laughed. It could, anything can happen. Just like a Coley beating Doughty Costa. So I guess November, DAZN would prefer a spacing, people to subscribe a month. If Joshua's in December, I think they would want Canelo in like November to break up that sort of 30-day sort of subscribing window. So, but yeah, I don't know. Headlines: Canelo low balls Derevchenko, or Derevchenko completely priced himself out. But he's obviously walking away from a certain amount of money and not going to get as much for a Triple G fight.
What do you think he was asking for?
I don't know.
There's no way he was asking for the Daniel Jacobs amount like Kovalev was, right?
I don't think so. He can't be expected. I mean, this was going to purse bids, and then it's like, no, we're nearly close. Oh no, it's completely fallen apart.
Yeah, why don't they just go to purse bids? Like, why doesn't that just?
Yeah. Derevchenko would have got as what a mandatory challenge. I don't know what the IBF split is. What 65-35?
Yeah. Let's see Lou DiBella outbid DAZN in Canelo. I would love to see that.
That'd be great.
That'd be cool. Canelo Derevchenko on PBC. Hey.
No, he's exclusive to DAZN, so I don't even know what happens in that situation. But on UFC Fight Pass, Brooklyn Boxing. So yeah, I don't know, but yeah, he's exclusive, so I don't even know how that kind of works.
Anyways, let's go to callers. 323-870-4051. Press 1 to get in the queue. International callers, Skype, Mixed Combat Radio. Remember, later tonight, Trending Now Network on YouTube, top 20 rappers of all time. It's going to be a debate show. Me, Fu, and Anthony Walker. It's going to be fun. And plus, we just did a review, or actually a sort of like live reaction, because I watched the trailer for the first time live on the video with you guys on Trending Now Network for The Irishman, coming out to Netflix from Martin Scorsese, Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, Al Pacino. Looked fantastic. Get my live reaction to that trailer, plus reviews of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and reviewing all of the MCU news and rumors coming from Comic-Con.
I haven't watched it yet. Did you get all emotional like the Star Wars dude?
Dude, I kind of got, not emotional, but I was like, oh my God, man, it's Pesci. Like, when's the last time we've seen Joe Pesci in a movie, for God's sake?
Every time it comes to a new actor on the screen. Oh my God.
Harvey Keitel. Al Pacino.
Isn't the English guy Graham
Norton?
No.
You mean the actor?
Yeah, an actor. He's been in a load of stuff over here. He was in Line of Duty, just gone on TV. This Is England. Shit, I can't think of his name, but I think he's in it because I saw him tweeting it saying it was an honor or something, as if like he was in it or whatever. Probably. But
I haven't seen those shows that you referenced. But anyways,
you should.
Rabisky saying, Matt, you better have Big Pun on your top 20 list. Rabisky, you better watch the video then. And I'm not surprised, Rabisky, being Puerto Rican, and I think you're from New York too, that you have Big Pun on your top 20 list. Anyways, going out to Gary in Dallas, who also, I will say, is the inspiration to this video. Gary wanted me and Fu to make our top 20 list, and I said, why not? And we brought Anthony in to sort of make his as well. So we have 3 lists, sort of like 3 judges in boxing. See who's the best. But Gary in Dallas, what's up, man?
I appreciate that.
Gary,
I
one
was gonna say,
second.
that's
Gary,
a
one
great
second.
idea. Wait, what was that?
Sorry, Gary, 1 second. Sources tell the Athletic Box that Canelo Alvarez and Demetrius Andrade are now in serious talks for a middleweight unification bout on the zone.
Wait, can you just read that again, please? Please. I just want to hear those words again.
Yeah, after that, we'll go across to the weather. But yes, sources tell The Athletic that Canelo Alvarez and Demetrius Andrade are now in serious talks for a middleweight unification bout on the zone.
Gary, we're going to right back to you and get me and Rob's quick reactions and obviously get yours.
Surely that's serious talks for a middleweight undisputed bout, isn't it? Or do they now count Charlo's bout? I don't know what's going on anymore. First it's in anyway, but wow.
It's not happening, right? Like, there's no way we get Andrade, right?
Well, I don't know. He's been in fucking serious talks with every fucking middleweight on the planet, and heavyweight and super middleweight.
You're
none
right.
of them have happened.
You're right. I will say this though: out of the middleweight options, Derevchenko, Triple G, Andrade's the toughest match for him. Even though I'm not the biggest Andrade fan, stylistically, he is the toughest match for Canelo.
Allegedly, I mean, I don't know. People say people that move. I don't know.
But again, just from my opinion, I think he's the toughest style matchup for Canelo Alvarez within the 160-pound division in his current crop of like DAZN fighters that they could fight.
Yeah.
I'm just shocked that's going to happen, or that they're even negotiating that. That's even a tweet out there. I'm shocked. I was not expecting that.
It's crazy. Fucking cop's phone must be on fire. He's just getting sources left, right, and center. But yeah, I don't know. Crazy. It's as if like were Derevchenko at one point close and talking, because the minute one's shut down, the latest they're in serious talks, in-depth talks, or it's like what? You're just throwing it out there to as many as you can and see if one eventually takes your offer. I don't know.
I have no idea what they're doing. I have no idea what. I really wonder at this point, like, who's at fault here for like this constant switch up in news? Is it Canelo? Is it Golden Boy? Is it DAZN? Is it the conflict between Canelo and DAZN, or Canelo and Golden Boy? Canelo versus Golden Boy and DAZN? Like, I'm just curious, like, where's the conflict here that is constantly producing more news, new news, and nothing is being confirmed, or at least not necessarily confirmed, but being finalized, I should say.
Oh wait, I've just realised why it wouldn't be undisputed, because he's just been stripped of his IBF, right? So there.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah. Sorry, oh, so maybe undisputed fight with Triple G if he beats Derevchenko.
Yeah, you're forgetting Jamal Charlo, bro. How disrespectful of you. Going out to Gary. Going out to
WBC regular now. I don't count it.
Going out to Gary in Dallas. Gary.
Lockdown? Wow. Yeah. Can I get in?
Yeah, you can get in now.
All right. Couple of things. First, that's good news. I mean, it's ridiculous that the IBF stripped Canelo of a title that he won, what, 3 months ago?
Yes.
I mean, that's absurd. To fight a guy that just got a title shot less than a year ago. I mean, and I'm a fan of the IBF since they rebuilt from their problems back in the 90s. I think they've done things right, but this is ridiculous. I don't even know what they gained from this. So that's bad that they stripped his title, but Canelo doesn't need belts. Canelo's bigger than belts, right? So Canelo Andrade is a better fight.
Yes.
So that's good, right? If we get that fight instead, that's better.
Agreed.
I mean, does Canelo have any more appeal or any more drawing power if he has 3 belts, 2 belts, or 1 belt, or no belts?
No, it's the same.
It doesn't really matter, right? Yeah, it's Canelo. He's bigger than the belt. I had a lot to pick on with the both of you.
Pick on
Rob.
Gary, I'm 6'4".
I got a lot of issues with the both of you today.
Oh my goodness,
Rob.
Bring it.
Yeah. It's
I want
6:30.
smoke.
It's almost 7 o'clock on the East Coast of the U.S. So when you say that Americans left the office at 3, that's just wrong. It's almost 7. on the East Coast.
No. Gary, the tweet itself says they determined this at 3 p.m. Eastern time. They, speaking of the IBF. And the first tweet from Chris Manick said the end of the business day. Therefore, 3 p.m. Eastern, the end of the business day. You see,
apology accepted.
You see how
Rob.
By the way, just a little message from
your time. That's 6 o'clock.
little message from Vicky.
So
Matt.
I thought that was East Coast time.
What was that, Rob? You guys talking at the same time. You guys can't do that.
Well, I can do what I want. I'm a host of the show.
Yeah, but wait your turn.
Yeah, but just Vicky said Liam's got to go to bed and Gary's going to be talking for like an hour. So, come on, Gary, your 3-minute timer's running out.
All right, there's that. So I apologize. I thought it was 3 o'clock. You know where Matt was, which meant it was 6 on the East Coast.
No, you're all good, Gary.
So drop that. Forget that. The thing when we said it was a boxing scene article, look, they should have definitely mentioned it were rape charges, right? Like that it's not a DWI, right? Like it's not. He didn't steal crab legs like Jameis Winston. Like it's a big deal. I don't want to say DWI isn't a big deal. It is, but this is sizably worse.
No,
right?
you're right though. No, you're right. On the spectrum of crime, a DWI is not the same as raping someone. On purely the spectrum of like the legal system.
Yeah, I just don't want to belittle it, but it's not. It's not anywhere close to. Like if I said which one's worse, like everyone I would imagine would say rape is far worse, right? Because it is. And he should have put that in there, right?
Yes.
For sure. Look, boxing is like any other sport. It's like any other aspect of life. There are good people. There are bad people. There are two people who do great things. There are bad people. There are bad people who do terrible things in boxing in every walk of life. It should have been in there, but like anyone reading that article knows what he was charged with. I would think, right?
I don't know about that.
Are reading.
There are people in our live chat that didn't know. There's people in our live chat that didn't know. Gary.
For real?
Gary, think about this. There's been times where me and you have been talking about it and had to have reminded ourselves what's been happening with Victor Ortiz. Like we've been on the show. Like that's happened to us. So no, I think that no, it's not a widely known consensus information that Victor Ortiz is being charged with rape right now. That's not known information.
What I'm saying is, I agree with you that it should have that should have been speculated in the article what he's being charged with because it is such a serious crime. But I don't want the article to focus around that. Like
I didn't say the article to focus on that. I didn't say the article to focus on that. I did not say the article to focus on that.
All right.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say it.
I thought you were complaining because it was like in the 7th article or the 7th paragraph or whatever.
Look, if you're talking about a guy coming back to fight and he is currently being charged and facing criminal case for raping someone, and you bury that news in the 7th paragraph and you only say it's some legal case, there's issues there. You can for burying the news because it's definitely relevant to whether he can fight or not. Okay. And on top of that, it should be just more prevalent. It should be more talked about. So it should be more of a focus, let's say, but not the focus of the article. If Ryan Burton wants to write a puff piece about Victor Ortiz coming back because he interviewed him at a fight, go for it, Ryan. But you know what? The second or third fucking sentence needs to mention that he's being charged with a rape case right now. Okay? If you bury that info, you are doing a disservice to your readers as a journalist.
Like, it's a fair point. It is. You're right. I thought you wanted that to be, like, what the article was about. Okay, so I misunderstood you, and I was wrong about Rob. Okay, so far I'm over 2 on my
Great batting average, Gary.
Differently is what you were saying. Okay. Yeah, it should be mentioned. And again, it is a serious charge. It's the same thing with, like, if everyone gets their day in court, Kovalev and Brown, although it looks very, very bad for them on what we do know, they haven't been, they've been charged. They haven't been found guilty of anything yet. So let's hold our judgment. I know it looks bad. It looks horrible for the both of them, right? But let the case come out. Let the facts come out and take it from there. And they both had their case today, you said?
Sergey Kovalev has his case today where he and his friend assaulted 2 women in their home and followed them from a bar.
It looks real bad. Yeah.
And Marcus Brown is facing his 4th indictment for a felony domestic violence charge from his baby mother, who I believe has a restraining order against him. And that is not till later this month, I believe. I think it's late August is when his hearing is.
They're both this month. And it looks really bad from what we know on the both of them, right?
Wait, hold on, Gary, very quickly. Hold on, sorry. Rob has to leave. Rob, if you want to give any socials out, final thoughts. Rob has to leave, guys. I apologize.
Yeah, sorry, Gary. You just bored me. I'm joking. UK Rob MCR, Instagram and Twitter. Keep an eye on the channel tomorrow and Saturday morning-ish. I'll be at the Matchroom card on Friday, tomorrow. So, yeah, keep an eye out for that. And, yeah, catch you on the next one.
Bye, Rob. Okay, Gary, back to you. Sorry about that.
Okay. Next topic. I know, I think it was Dwayne in the chat who said, and I guess it was in jest, can we super chat the money to Regis Prograis for the Josh Taylor fight? and I'm sure he was joking, but, like, if you want to see something, like if everyone who wanted to see the fight chipped in some money, $5, $1, whatever, could you crowdfund? Because I really want to see that fight, so I'd be down to donate, right? Let me give you an example, right? Like, I don't know if you watch the debate, right? But for the next one, you need 100 and something thousand donators. It doesn't matter how much you donate. You just need 100 and something thousand donators to make it to the next debate stage, right?
Oh, yeah, you're talking
really
about
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I vote for her. I really like her. I think she's supposed to be. I think she should be on the stage. So I donated $1, right? So now I count, right? That's one more person towards 100,000.
Who did you donate to?
Tulsi.
Okay.
Tulsi Gabbard.
Okay. Gabbard.
All right. Gabbard.
Yeah.
Fine.
Fine. Don't be angry there, Gary. I'm sorry.
I gave her $1, right? It's $1.
Yeah.
If you have $1 and you want to watch Prograis and Taylor, like, give $1. Like, yeah. I know it sounds stupid, but let's crowdfund that fight because I'd be down. I really want to see that fight. I think that's a great fight. But I really want to see that fight. Like, is it that crazy to crowdfund a fight?
Yeah, I think it is. For multiple reasons. One, for me personally, I'm trying to crowdfund this outlet, so like that's difficult in and of itself. Let alone trying to crowdfund a world title unification fight with all of that details and specifics in terms of contracts that needs to be, dealt with. On top of that, Gary, we've seen tons of like GoFundMe pages for like people that have like dealt with like brain injuries and stuff, and they're kind of underfunded. I doubt we get Prograis and Taylor getting a bunch of money to make the fight, or at least enough money to make it to make a difference, right? Like let's say World Boxing Super Series needs $5 million to put on the fight, and they only have $3 million.
Yeah,
I don't think we can pull off $2 million, let alone like maybe $100,000. I don't know if we can do that as a community. I'm just kind of doubtful of that, to be quite honest. We're cheap. We're a cheap fan base. We stream everything.
You bring over both Americans and UK, right? You bring over both sides.
Yeah.
To watch that fight. I don't know. I mean,
how many
Americans
Americans
really like boxing?
How many Americans are going to be interested in this fight?
Oh, boy. If you get a few 100,000, that's good, right?
Yeah, but then again, a few 100,000 given $1, that's a few $100,000.
Well, maybe someone can give 2 or 5. Give what you can.
Give what 2 or 5,
right? Just like MCR. If you got it, give it. If you can't, yeah.
Look, Gary, I'm not going to say don't start that. All I'm going to say is put your expectations low.
I was just trying to lay it out and see if it stuck to the wall. Like, if I think it's all crazy, then it probably is.
Yeah.
But, like, the pay-per-view model is kind of some crowdfunding, right? Like, you get paid what you bring in. right? The more people that chip in
Yeah.
and buy on, then the more money you get.
Yeah, that's a great example. That's a great comparison. What does Progress Taylor do in pay-per-views?
If you charge $75 for it, not good, not good.
Fuck.
And I like both
Hey,
those fighters, but
what
not
about
good.
what about the fights in London, UK pay-per-views? What does it do? Let's say it's on ITV pay-per-view or BT pay-per-view. What does it do?
That's a better question for Rob. I don't know. I know Taylor's a big star over in Scotland, but I know that Scotland doesn't have a huge population. I really don't know.
If it does 100,000 buys in the UK and it's in prime time, like slot, that would be a shock. I'll put it that way.
You really think it does that little? You don't think he's a bigger star than that in the UK?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's okay.
I think you're throwing out the term big star for Josh Taylor way too loosely. Way too loosely.
Okay. I mean, I don't know the metric.
That would be like saying Jose Ramirez is a big star in the States. It's like, no, he's a big star in Fresno. He's a big star in Fresno. You know, maybe the Central Valley, maybe. But that's about it. Josh Taylor, he's big in Glasgow. But that's about it. Maybe the surrounding areas of Glasgow, but that's about it.
Rob was talking about him like early in the year fighting at Wembley and things like that. Was that Rob just over-exaggerating things?
Yeah, I don't remember Rob ever saying
Okay.
that Josh Taylor's fighting at Wembley or that he could.
I promise you he said that, right? Cause
Against
think
who?
Virgil Ortiz there, but I don't remember. But I think this is who did Taylor beat in the second round? It was right around that. Oh, he beat it was Baranchek, right? So it was before that fight.
Yeah.
I vividly remember this conversation because I said to him they should bring over Virgil Ortiz, but they wouldn't want to see him get knocked out. And then Rob made a comment about Hughie Fury. That not everyone knocks everyone else out. Well, Virgil Ortiz does. But now he's gone, so I couldn't make that comment to him. Oh, okay. Oh, what was? Oh, Hughie Fury. I was with you after Hughie Fury. I thought beat Parker. I was on the Hughie Fury bandwagon. I thought he was going to be really good.
Yep.
That didn't.
Nope.
I guess he's still really young for a heavyweight standard.
He is. Definitely has time on his side.
Yeah. And he's pretty good, right? You'd say he's in the top 15?
No, not top.
You don't think he's better than Dominic Brazil? Hughie Fury versus Dominic Brazil. Who you got?
I'm probably picking Dominic Brazil at this point in time.
Okay. Well, I think Brazil's the worst. So,
I'll put it this way. I picked Povetkin to knock him out. I think Povetkin's going to probably win.
If Hughie Fury wins that fight, I'll be really, really impressed. I would have to lean towards Povetkin, too. I would pick Povetkin to win that fight. But I'll be really impressed if Hughie Fury wins. Because Povetkin's old, but he still has some gas left in that tank. He's still, a top 5 or top 10 heavyweight by any stretch of the imagination, right? Like, everyone would put him still in their top 10.
Probably, yeah.
And there was no, the IBF never gave a reason why they called Canelo's mandatory within 3 months of him winning their title.
No.
They never gave a reason for that?
Nope.
90
not that I know of.
seconds.
Not that I know of.
Okay. That just seems like such a bizarre thing. Like, you won it, and I immediately call, you get 90 days, less than 90 days, before we strip your title to schedule a mandatory? I've never heard of that before. That seems ridiculous, especially against a guy who just got a title shot a year ago. That doesn't make any sense at all. That's really weird.
60 seconds.
So did they say who Derevchenko is going to fight for that title?
The talks before the news was obviously Triple G versus Derevchenko would be the option for the vacant belt. I don't know if that's still the case, but I would assume that's the case.
Okay. That'd be Triple G would win, but that fight could be fun while it lasted. Stylistically, that could be a fun fight.
I agree.
So actually, if you get Derevchenko versus Triple G, and Canelo versus Andrade. That's a double winner. That's like those are two good fights.
Mm-hmm.
There was something else too, but I forgot what it was. All right, that's all I got.
You want me to run through some of the topics, Gary, or are you good?
Yeah, go. I'm good.
10 seconds.
You sure, Gary? It's okay. You're the only caller. Once you're done, I'm
am I
out.
the only caller?
Well, Big Boy.
Yeah,
hold on. No, you're not. You're not the only caller, but it's okay, Gary. If you want to keep going, it's fine.
What topics did I miss?
Well, you have White, the White situation, AJ Ruiz location. What else do we have? Let me go through the list.
Let me get to the AJ Ruiz thing. I understand Ruiz's concern. I really do.
Of course.
I understand why he wouldn't want to go over there. That being said, if he took the first fight, and it said in the contract that the rematch had to be in the UK, he needs to be a champion. He needs to be a man of his word. He needs to go over there and knock him out. He agreed to it. Like, the contract is what it is. Like, if that was stipulated, and I don't know if it was or it wasn't, the location. If it was, and Eddie seems to say it was, but then Ruiz needs to honor that contract. He needs to go over there.
Agreed.
And then this Dillian Whyte thing, right? So he tested negative after the day after the fight.
Yeah, I think it was like the Thursday or Friday before, and then obviously I think it was like 2 days after or a day after.
So what is that going to mean? Which means he went into the fight clean, technically, or do you think he just? I mean,
no, it's normal.
Technically, it means he went into the fight clean. But do you think he just masked it better while we got closer to the fight because he knew that test was coming? You know what I'm saying? He knew he was going to have to take a test then. I know there's ways to mask these things. Like baseball players got caught masking all the time. Manny Ramirez was taking something you give to women who are having trouble getting pregnant. Like, why would you take that, right? Because it masked the results of anabolic steroids. So, I mean, do you think that Dillian Whyte was clean in the ring? Or like, what happened in that?
Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he was, quote, clean in the ring or not.
I guess it doesn't.
It doesn't matter. It plainly just does not matter. He popped dirty in June 17th. He was clean on July 17th. That means nothing for a substance that can leave your system and not be detectable from 3.5 days to 19 days. So, you're a month out when that test is, when we know that test. As far as we know, we don't know if any other testing was done around closer to the time window of June 17th. So largely speaking, the tests that we're talking about in terms of today and the breaking news today are irrelevant because they're outside the half-life window of the Direnabol metabolites.
So, I mean, this is going to... Obviously, he's going to get suspended, you would think, right?
It depends.
They're not going to. You don't think they would be more lenient on him because he tested negative for this one? You don't think that's going to matter?
No, these tests should have no determination on UCAD's ruling. The only things that would have determination on UCAD's ruling is a few things. There would be any sort of evidence that he had a tainted supplement of some sort, which that's possible. I mean, fighters can prove that they have tainted supplements. It's possible. It's difficult, but you can prove that. Another thing would be is that the B sample comes back obviously negative. That would obviously be a way to throw out the case. As far as I know, he did have altered trace amounts per Mike Coventry's reporting, but those altered trace amounts aren't below any threshold per WADA's ruling. So maybe he might have a compounded case of, hey, these levels are super low, this substance, the supplement here, look, all these VADA tests have me clean, and maybe that works for UCAD, because UCAD is just a group of people. They're not, it's like a commission, right? It's like the same thing. They're not necessarily doping experts, so to speak. It's possible. It's possible you can get off that way.
Well, you would hope the UCAD, the United Kingdom Anti-Doping or whatever, would be doping experts. I would hope. I mean, you don't know, but it's kind of in the acronym. But yeah, so you don't think it's really going to ultimately make a difference, right? Like the fact that he came up clean after the fight is going to be largely irrelevant, right?
Very quickly, let me make a distinction. When I talk about people maybe not being doping experts, talking about like the national panel, like doping panel, stuff like that. Those might not be experts. Those might just be elected or appointed officials, similar to commissions. It's not the administrators of the test.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right. Okay.
Sorry, what was your question before I made that correction? I just wanted to make that distinction.
You largely don't think that's going to make much of a difference. The fact that he came up clean after the fight isn't going to do anything to mitigate the dirty test.
No,
right? Like
yeah.
he's still going to get.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
all I got.
Because thank you, Gary. But just to sort of finish and wrap that up, the reason would be that, look, you still have that substance in your system. Where did that substance come from? You need to prove that substance came from an administrative way that was legal or excusable in a way, a la tainted supplement. Like that would be his best case scenario. Going out to our last caller in the UK, I would assume, because of Skype, and Big Boys Boxing, who's in the chat occasionally. What's up?
Hey man, how you going?
Good, man. How are you?
Not too bad. I'm actually from New Zealand, by the way.
Oh, New Zealand. What's up, man? How you doing?
Not too bad. Yeah, I see you guys were talking about the Dillian Whyte situation there, and whether that clean test after the fight's going to make a difference. But I think UK will be looking at the situation like if he had something in the system a month prior to the fight, he still had an advantage in training to get himself in better shape, and he's going to reap the benefits from that. So therefore, if he does get proven, by a B sample or a hair sample that something was in his system, then yeah, he's going to cop it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Good way to put it.
It's definitely an interesting situation, and I'm wondering what information the WBC have at present to constitute this provisional suspension that he's got.
I would assume it's the same info that we have, to be quite honest. I don't think they have any other info because they don't have access to it. They don't have access to UCAD's testing or even, in theory, the additional VADA testing that Dillian Whyte paid for. They don't have access to that. They don't have access to the clean boxing program's tests. So this is part of just their way of saying, hey, look, we're doing this provisional suspension right now, and see what happens. As a way to sort of cover their ass and make it look like they're doing something, to be honest, without really doing anything, because it's a provisional suspension. It can be lifted at any time, and it could be thrown out. So at any point, we could hear, hey, B sample's negative, case is thrown out, WBC provisional suspension's gone, and we're back on to status quo. That could absolutely happen. So I don't think WBC has any secret information, because if they did, or not secret information, just more information than we have. Because if they did and they were going to this direction, they might have just suspended him outright. And they didn't do that.
Agreed. So it sounds like they pretty much just handed out this provisional suspension because they got left out of the loop.
Mm-hmm. Kind of, yeah, probably.
But also, interestingly, I've heard that VADA had contracted UCAD for some of the testing program as well. So you would have thought at least VADA would have had some kind of information if they'd done so. But it's pretty hazy because we just don't have that information. It's all Thomas Hauser at this stage.
Yeah, or Eddie. I mean, it's one of those two. Those are the two most vocal people talking in terms of in the know, right? Thomas Hauser in terms of his sources in the industry. And Eddie's obviously intimately involved in the case. They're the only people really telling us any information. And plus Mike Coventry, he had some really specific details about the Direnabol levels that he popped for. Though God knows what Eddie meant by, as far as I know, he didn't test positive for Direnabol. So at this point, it's hazy. There's not a lot of information. But what we do know is that the entire procedure and policy is just ass backwards, to be quite honest.
Big time. Yeah, I'm a firm believer that if somebody test positive with an A sample, they shouldn't be allowed to fight until it's proven that they're clean. Because ultimately, it's fighters' lives being at risk, isn't it? So, I'd like to see UCAD and the British Board of Boxing Control take a bit more of a stance like they do in America. It makes it look pretty dodgy how they're doing it at this stage.
And look, like I understand the thinking behind, hey, let's not disclose the information. I understand why there's a defense around that policy. But look, in sports, especially in boxing, combat sports, the idea that your reputation is fundamentally ruined once you pop is just not true. It just isn't. Like, look at half of the heavyweight division, for God's sake. They've all popped. Yeah. So this idea that, like, oh, you're going to damage a fighter's reputation if his opponent or the public or the media know that an A sample is positive, that's not true. Because we have clearly seen fighters come back from it more time than not and have success. In fact, we've seen some fighters pop numerous times and come back each time like it's nothing. So, like, that to me is not a great defense of the policy. I understand the defense of the policy, but I don't think it's a great defense at all, because clearly, even when fighters, we do know they've tested positive, we allow them back in the community with wide open arms, a la Tyson Fury and soon to be Gerald Miller. So, like, it's better for everyone just to have transparency and for us to know the facts and the information and to make a determination. And then if more facts come out, to change that determination. That is a far better outcome than hiding everything and containing all the info, and only the leaked stuff gets out, and therefore we have a warped perception of this story now.
Exactly. Anybody with some level of common sense would wait for all the facts and make a determination once you've got all the facts. But, you know, if an A sample goes positive and people start screaming, you're a cheat, it's pretty obvious to me that they have something against that particular fighter, you know, making determinations like that without having all the facts. So,
agree.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah, I'd just like to have a quick chat about that Hughie Fury and Alexander Povetkin fight.
Sure.
I think it could be quite interesting considering the age of Povetkin. You know, we've had it before with older fighters. Are they going to perform on the night? Hughie Fury being so young and having such good legs, I think there's a possibility there that Hughie could come on later on in the fight and something could happen. But I think the question's going to be, is Povetkin going to be able to get to Hughie and hit him? Nobody's really been able to hit him properly yet. So,
no, I largely agree. Just look at the height and reach disparity. Like, that alone, you think Hughie has a chance here. And a Hughie that's on focus, on point, I think is an efficient, you know, defensive boxer in the heavyweight division, especially when you look at the average in terms of defensive ability in that division. But you're right. Povetkin's age, can he get on the inside? Those are huge question marks.
Yeah, definitely. Personally, I still think Povetkin's going to have enough to take the fight on points. I don't think he can stop Hughie because he's just can't hit him. Nobody can. But I think it'll be a bit of a stinker like Joseph Parker and Hughie Fury fight, to be honest. But yeah, it's a big risk for Hughie after not fighting any decent opposition since Pulev. So is his jab going to have enough on it? Is he going to be able to land that right hand? Those are the two biggest questions for me, but interesting fight.
Agreed. Anything else?
Tyson Fury and Charles Martin. Do you like the fight?
I love the fight, man. I wish it was happening. It's not, but I wish it was. If I'm being completely honest, it's not happening. It's probably gonna be Trevor Bryan. I would ignore Miller's case, so to speak, and suspension and I would push back the Fury fight and have Fury versus Miller if I'm the matchmaker. But a close second is the God Charles Martin. But no, we're probably gonna get Trevor Bryan instead in September.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, well, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. So
thank you for the call.
Thanks for having me on, man.
Appreciate it. We do have one more piece of news to get to, and then we're going to wrap up the show. Breaking news. Thank you, Leonard, for pointing on the chat, especially for the super chat. Thank you, Leonard, for the super chat. And I won't say the super chat because it's the breaking news. Keith Idek coming out saying, now that Canelo Derevchenko talks have broken down and Canelo will be stripped of the IBF middleweight title, a deal has been reached, past tense already, for Gennady Golovkin to fight Derevchenko for the IBF fight. Fight could happen as soon as October 5th, but maybe move to November. I'm okay with that. And as we talked about earlier, we kind of knew that was going to happen next after Canelo got stripped in this rapidly evolving news story of Canelo and Derevchenko in the IBF. But guys, that's going to be it for today. Hope everyone has a great time, great day, great morning, great evening, wherever you are in the world, in your life, emotionally, spiritually, wherever you are, physically, wherever you are in the world. Hope you guys are doing good. Take care of yourselves. We'll be back later tonight. Trending Now Network. Top 20 rappers of all time. Top 20 MCs of all time. It's going to be a great debate. Me, Fu, Anthony. It's going to get spicy. And what else? What else is happening? Rob is obviously going to be tomorrow at the fights, at the Anthony Fowler fight. So look for content on the channel tomorrow. Plus championship rounds tomorrow, 2 p.m. Pacific time, I think Pacific time. I will do obviously championship rounds, patreon.com/Mixed Combat Radio. Have a great day, great night. Peace.